to go live, I will just talk because I've got, oh, okay, I'm live, yay! I'm Leah Lauder, your favorite mega church cult survivor. I expose church cults. It's been a while on YouTube. I'm sorry I left you for a little bit, but I'm back today and I'm doing this live, not only of YouTube, but I'm also on TikTok and I'm also on Instagram all at the same time. So if you're just coming across me and you don't know who I am, my name's Leah Lauder, of course. And I spent 18 years in a church cult and I came to the realization during the pandemic and now I expose them online. Hey Alex, King Alex in the car on TikTok. So what I want to talk about today, guys, is a bit around mental health and how it's demonized. I want to talk a little bit about some of the struggles that we might experience post-cult exit. I also want to talk about how it's demonized and just talk about just bringing it to a very logical level and also just normalizing mental health, because I feel like in the church cult setting, it is demonized a lot. And I feel like if we can talk about it from more of a psychology kind of science trauma lens, even using a public health approach, because I do feel like, this is an epidemic. This is an epidemic with all of the fake church cults that we have all around the world. Hey, Instagram, with all the church cults that we have around the world. So I think that we really do need to look at it in the same lens as when we're dealing with gangs, which are high control groups. We look at what causes and creates the violence, and we look at the trauma. And we use a public health approach to look at how we can reduce or prevent, the spread of gangs and youth violence. And we also look at violence affecting young people. So we don't look so much at the typology of violence, but we look at the root causes of it. And so I think today, it's worth exploring that, looking at some of the root causes, the deep-seated root causes of this type of church cult abuse. What makes you susceptible? I'll be talking about that tonight. What will make you susceptible? What makes you more vulnerable? Some red flags to look out for. And then I'm going to move that into mental health, because a lot of survivors are struggling with mental health at the moment, including myself. So I want to talk about that. The reason I'm on Instagram tonight as well, and I will be on Instagram a lot more, is because all the fake churches reside and their home is Insta. So I have to make myself very known. I could just be on TikTok for the rest of my life. I love TikTok, but I've got to share myself amongst the other social media platforms, because especially Instagram, because there's a lot of fake preachers on there. So I do really want them to know my presence. I want them to know I'm here. I'm right on board, and I will be, and I'm here to stay. So anyway, what I'm going to talk about today is some of your susceptibility to joining these church cults. And when I started looking into cult psycho ed, I was really, really shocked to see that one of the highest risk factors for making you susceptible and vulnerable to being recruited and joining these self-sealing systems is low self-esteem. And guys, sometimes we can just miss it because it's just so obvious and it's just such a in our face thing, or it doesn't seem like, it's not like someone who's lost a parent, or somebody who's maybe orphaned, or maybe someone who's just been through a mental breakdown, or it's literally self-esteem, guys. And do you know how deep that is? A lot of young people suffer from low self-esteem, because my background is I'm a youth worker and a social worker, right? And I've spent years and years working with young people and children, And a lot of the work that we do is building up young people's self-esteem. And one of the pivotal points in a young person's life is that transition from interdependence to dependence. I'm sure that's what it's the other way around, but it's one of those anyway. And it's all about building a young person's self-esteem up, their confidence, giving them the skills to be able to manage their money, be able to live alone. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of different life skills and soft skills that we work with young people in an informal way to educate them. So school will teach you the curriculum, but youth work and the informal education that we do around sexual health. There's a lot. So one of the main things that I notice with young people that they really do struggle with is low self-esteem, identity, sense of belonging. And do you know, guys, that these are the same characteristics that make young people susceptible to joining gangs? And that's why I said it's not when you think about gangs, you see them as perpetrators. And I'm not condoning the things that are done in gangs and when we're talking about youth violence. But it's important for us to know, because I worked in prisons and I was privy to a database that I'd never experienced in my life. Like, I've worked in many different settings and, like used many different databases. But in the prison, that's why when someone does something in the prison, like that girl that was getting her back blown out the other day, was it in Wandsworth prison? But I'm not judging her, child. Woo! I'm not judging. I can't judge that girl, child. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I've worked in the prisons. And what I'm going to tell you, ladies, is that all the man them do their morning, noon, and night is work out, child. Do you know what I mean? And they drink a lot of water. And they're just walking around like some bodybuilders in the car. What do you mean? But remember, I was sold out for the Lord. That's what I'm saying. It's when you're putting these kind of tests, like, and the man them were loving me up, child. They reminded me who I was. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I just want to shout out, do you know what I mean? All the man them, all the brothers from the hood. Do you know what I mean? I am who I am today because of y'all. Woo! And I'm not even going to lie, you lot, when I was working in the prisons, yeah, that's like literally like, and I know because they're in the prison, they don't get to see women all the time, whatever. So it was a bit more extra than usual. But oh my God, they made me feel like a celeb. And my self-esteem was so low. And they really brought me back. And isn't it just ironic? Do you know what I mean? That you would say that, these men that are like locked up, like you kind of judge them. Do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get to the point. So when I was working on that database, I was privy to that database. It's not like any other database. Everything's on there from birth. So if they were like, they've been through the foster care system, their whole, like all their criminality, like everything, it's on this one database. I'm not taking requests because I'm on 3 lives. I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on here. But what I will do is at the end, I'm only looking to spend about an hour on altogether, and then I'm going to dedicate some time to TikTok. So if you do want to come and see the live guests, survivors speaking their truth, then jump over to TikTok after. So anyway, guys, there was so many sad cases, but some of these young people had been essayed like as a child. Do you know what I mean? Like by their sibling, like, just crazy stories. And then they were like homeless from like 10, and it was just so sad. Some of those stories were so sad. And so you look and you think, is there any surprise, do you know what I mean, that they end up, do you know what I mean, getting 10 years? Do you get what I'm saying? When they're 14, like, guys, it was sad. Like, I was working with child unalivers, child pedos, because what you need to remember with the peds, yeah, is that it's not like they just get up one day as an adult and start to do up that. There'll be like a pattern. There's like a history of it. So they might have been 7 doing unimaginable things to a toddler or a baby. Do you get what I'm saying? It starts young and they usually have, sometimes they go undetected and it just takes like one instant, but they've been doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they just wake up one day. And that's part of the research when you're working with this typology, this group, yeah. But anyway, the reason why I got into all of that is because I'm just saying that, there is a vulnerability and a susceptibility to join in these types of gangs, aka high control groups. Thanks, Ines. Because of people wanting that sense of belonging. And when we look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, we can see that at the very basic level, what humans crave for is that social interaction, that sense of belonging, to feel needed. Do you get what I'm saying? And that really does tie into that kind of fellowship spiel that they do. Because listen, I'm not against fellowship. They act like I'm against, like baby, I like a little bit of fellowship, me. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you start to bring in fear into that, and you start to tell people that they're going to go to HELL, yeah, because they're leaving the church cult and they're no longer going to be able to have fellowship in your cult, and your church cult is the only church cult that can keep them like that, and you don't know if they're going to belong to Christ, and you excommunicate people, and when people want to leave, you use fellowship as a doctrine, a false doctrine that you've been doing up preaching it because you're in a self-sealing system. What I'm trying to understand is they're saying that they're saving all of these people and they got all of these numbers, but they're just talking absolute human fecal matter. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? Like, these statistics and these targets, guys, it's all lies. It's all smoke and mirrors and deception. They get a lot of people going in and out. It's like a bad company with really poor management. Because the people in there are so wicked that when the people are coming in, they're reading them for filth, and people aren't staying for that long. Thanks, Blue. They're staying for like 6 months, high turnover rate. Yes, Keely, the celeb in the car. It's a high turnover rate. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like the people just come in, they go out, they come in, they go out, they come in, they go. It's like a conveyor belt machine. So that's what differentiates like a cult from a church. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because there's a recruitment drive, there's a recruitment purpose. There's a constant drive for recruitment, and there's a constant drive to raise funds. And usually what you'll see is with the recruitment, aka this could be in the guise of events, you'll see that right beside that there's a drive to raise funds. And actually, if we take that to another level, there's a drive to raise funds every single time you're there. I call them pay-as-you-go churches. They're called pay-as-you-go churches. Like baby, I'm not rich enough to attend church. To ask me, oh, what you got to? I ain't got it, baby. In this high cost of living, this economic depression that we're all got, I ain't got it, babe. Do you know what I mean? I ain't got the peas to be doing up church, and that's our thing. I ain't got the peas to be going to church, to be doing up what? And then when I go to the church, what they're going to be? They're going to be accusing me of being interested in their dusty husbands. That's what I'm going to get there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Just because I'm being fabulous and I'm being me, I can't change the way I am. Do you know what I mean? I'm a diva. I'm not going to change how I am because I'm attending your church cult to be fake like y'all. I'm not doing that. I've got to, like Jesus says, to come as you are. So why am I going? You want me to come as you want me to come. Jesus said, come as you are. You want me to come as you, so you can feel comfortable, so that I don't distract you from the preaching. Listen, if I'm walking outside and I've got on the tiniest dress known to man, yeah, God's already seen me walking in that dress. Oh God, you know what? I should have set up a church, yeah. I could have been a millionaire by now. What with this? What? With this charisma and being able to twist and manipulate the scriptures, it's absolutely wild. God's already seen me in my tight dress. Now I'm going to go home. I'm going to be in my tight dress from 9 to 5. Then I'm going to go home. I'm going to get changed. I'm going to go and put on my dress from my neck to the floor to go to the church court. Everyone's going to clap for me. And the pastor's going to be, what? Because I've come to the church court and now, do you understand what I'm saying? It's nonsensical. It's very shallow. And yeah, it's a business. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep up with all the comments. It is a business. But do you see what I mean? This is all to please a man. They've created rules. If God's already seen us doing it, then why am I going to change and come to the church? I've got more reverence. I've got more fear of these men, of these fake men of God and this environment. I'm not being true to myself then. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You see, God, out of everything else that you could do, that is to be your true self, man. It's to know who you are, man. To be able to come into the presence of God and say, this is who I am. This is me, so plain and ordinary. This is me. A person saved by grace. This is me. Humbly, something now. This is me. Oh my God, it's my TikTok husband. Hi, babe. So this is me. Do you know what I mean? I come before the Lord and I say, this is me in my mess. Oh, thanks, guys. This is me in my brokenness. This is me. I'm a mess, Lord. Help me. I need you to help me because I can't do this on my own. That humility, that purity, that ability to see yourself as you truly are. Thank you. And to come and say, this is me. There ain't, you know, it's just fake in there. It's fake. And as the time goes on, because it's so fake, you have to lose yourself until eventually you do embody that pseudo personality. So you do put it on fully. Do you know what I mean? You'll be looking like, you know, the Mormons from Salt Lake City or RPF. You'll be doing up RPF. Because there's absolutely no way that anyone's going to tell me that a man is going to be preferring this. Do you know what I'm saying to you? There's no way that anyone's going to tell me that a man is going to prefer this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I am here. Thank you so much, Pastor. I still look good though, but this is giving beret. But guys, just imagine that I don't look good, okay? Just imagine that I look like I've rolled out of bed. Because I still look fabulous. But anyway, it's not, a man's not going to prefer that. So what you're doing is you're just lying. You're selling a dream. Can someone block Anton? Oh, no. She's joking. They're joking. Anton's joking. Sorry, babe, because you've gifted me as well. No. Don't block them. They've become a 12th member of the team. I'm sorry. I'm too fast. Love you. Sorry, YouTube. Because sometimes I have to block people on TikTok, but I realize that he's cracking a joke. I'm too fast. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, YouTubers. I'm so sorry I've left you. I've been clinically depressed. I've been clinically depressed for weeks, Jer. I'm just getting out of it. Oh, thanks, babe. I'm just getting out of it now. Who else has been depressed? Do you know what? Yeah, I've just been trying to just keep myself from just wanting to be here. Hey, Soft Life. So I do want to talk about mental health because I know a lot of people are struggling with it, and I do want to get into it. Yeah, but I just want to let people know what makes them susceptible and what makes them vulnerable from joining church cults. I think it's so important, so important. Yeah, the depression was depressing. Everyone's depressed. Me and a survivor are meeting up on Sunday because we're going to go for a good old roast. And guys, I wanted to say, yeah. Like, we are on here, especially I'm talking about TikTok. We've got a community on here, and I'm going to start building a community on YouTube and building it on Instagram. YouTube, I want to let you know, I've designated a special area on my home just for all my YouTube content. I'm going to get a ring light. I'm going to try and do up little fancy. So get ready for me. 2025 from April the 1st. It's Leah coming at you. Yes, Leah coming at you. Oh, it's Leah coming at you. Like, that's going to be the vibes for 2025. So I will make up for lost time. The first 3 months of the year is usually hard to. April is when we bloom. Yeah, stop like. Oh, I'm so glad. And I'm going to start doing up my podcast. So I'm going to have a little setup there that I'm going to be doing. And if any male survivors want to pay for it and come and do it all for me, message me. Oh, you lot, I'm joking, but I'm not joking. All right, but seriously now, let's talk about the susceptibility. So low self-esteem, guys, think about that. That is so broad and that is so wide. Do you get what I'm saying? That makes such a big, huge majority of people that are insecure and have low self-esteem. And guys, that can stem from so many different things, as small as like getting BULL wide in school, maybe having an absent parent. Do you get what I'm saying? It could be grief, bereavement, and trauma that's happened in your life. It could just be the way you look because of the beauty standards that the world esteem. Do you get what I'm saying? You could have felt like you weren't loved from your parents. There could be all different types of situations as to why you'd have a low self-esteem. It could have been a silly little boy that broke your heart. Do you know what I mean? Like when you were like 16 or whatever. There's a lot of different things. It could be something so small, but it's deep rooted like in your psyche. Especially, do you know what I'm feeling as well? Especially for people who maybe didn't get a mother's love. If you felt like you didn't really like get a mother's love, or you didn't feel like you were loved by your mom, you were ABUSE'd by your mom, that you will be highly susceptible. And I want to say father wounds as well, but mother wounds more so. That's what I want to say. And they can use that like in a reverse psychological kind of like tactic to turn you and your mum against each other. Because like when you just go through that phase when you're like 15, do you get what I'm saying? You're just getting used to life, trying to navigate your way around, thinking, you think you're a big woman when you're 15. Do you know what I'm saying? And these church cults come in, I'm noticing a pattern of the ages when they are most likely to recruit people. And that's that transition from 15 to 16. But the biggest one is that transition from 18 to 19. A lot of people get recruited then. And remember, I said to you, out of all of your kind of your span of life, I would say that's one of the most life-changing, because at that point, everything's just becoming legal. Do you get what I'm saying? Here in the UK, we can go out to clubs, we can buy, you know what I'm saying? It's like your first taste of freedom and adult life. And they just come in and they just take it away. And then they start using all of this rhetoric to make you believe that they've saved you from the big bad world. That's why one of the most vulnerable groups, above all else, is second-gen cult members. And second-gen church cult members are the children of first-gen cult members, and they're usually the first ones to have started the cult. And then it's like their children's children become third, fourth, and the generations just go on. That's how the Roman Catholic Church has been able to build the church so much. It's through the different generations. Sweetheart, can you bring me a glass? Thank you. They've been able to build the church to what it is today, because it's just been generations that have just passed on, and they've not that it's been generations that have just passed on, and nobody's had any decision in whether they want to believe in Catholicism or not. Do you get what I'm saying? Sorry, guys, you know it's Ghetto Live. It's Ghetto Live time. You have no decision. It's just you're just born into it. Do you know what I mean? Because all your generations before that have been Catholics. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a bit similar to how the Nigerian culture is. You know, like how people like to like marry from their tribes. It's changing now, though. But it's been like that historically. So the reason why I mentioned second, third generation cult members is because they will have no identity outside of the church cult. There'll be no identity. And guys, please feel free to put your comments in the comment section if you want to ask me questions, or don't feel like because I'm on live across everywhere that you can't ask questions. Please do feel like you can. Oh, really? Why? Someone's saying my hair is making them feel hungry. Why is that? Are you a troll? Shikra Adams, are you a troll? How would my hair be making you hungry? Let me guess. Does it remind you? Oh, noodles. Does my hair remind me of noodles? Do you know what? Your mother's hair reminds me of Angelica, you know, from Rugrats. Do you not remember the little doll, the little baby in Rugrats, Angelica? And she just used to have the 2 strands of hair. It's giving your mother. Do you get what I'm saying? My hair looks fabulous, babe. I look like a goddess. You know, men nearly CRASH their car, babe, because they're gawping and looking at me, baby. You wish you looked like me. You wish you could be in my skin for one day. That's what you wish. You're a mess. You're an absolute mess. It's all right. You might not think it's rude, but I think that's quite rude. And actually, I think I look absolutely fabulous. Baby girl, maybe when you're 38 years old and you've got 2 children, one of your eldest being 11 years old, you can look this good, baby. Yeah? When you're working with this, when you're working with all of this, and I don't go gym. I don't go gym. And I've also got rich young ninjas who are living in other parts of the world who are willing to fly across the world and be doing coming here for months on end to just spend the summer with me, baby. So if I were you, I would you maybe if you got this noodle hair, you might be able to get some of your bills paid outside in these streets, and you wouldn't be sitting on YouTube commenting away being broke. How do you look right now? Because this is how I look right now. How do you look? Maybe you should go and look in the mirror at yourself first, sweetie pie. Because this is how I wake up. I woke up like this. I woke up like this, flawless. Saying, I woke up like this. I woke up like this, flawless. This is how I wake up, baby. There's no surprises with me. All right, you lot, let's get back into it. You know me. I can't let anything go. Do you know what I mean? There's just a troll from Dag because they're mentally insane. So when they come on here, and usually what they do is they'll act like they'll friend us up because they're not okay. They have mental health. Do you get what I'm saying? So they'll come in like friend it up, like guys, careful. What mods? Can you not like up the live? Can you not like up the live? Like up the live, guys. Because I've been feeling some stuff, but I'm just gonna see how my intuition's going. But you lot come on here, you act like you're friending me up, doing this, that, and the and she can sing, and then 2 minutes later you're saying that my hair looks like noodles. You think I'm gonna get upset about that? Girl, my hair don't look like noodles. I look like a goddess. You never seen braids like this a day in your life. Who can carry off braids? Brandy's hair signature style was braids, and I'm still popping more than that. Do you know what I mean? Like this, nobody does braids like me, girl. Are you having a laugh? No one does break. Do you think anyone can be carrying this off as their usual style? And this color blonde. How many black girls do you see being able to rock this? Oh, please. Girl, one thing you can't come for is my looks and my hair. Do you know what I mean? Even the body you could have maybe done up a little bit, but do you know what I mean? Not the hair and not the face, babe, because you're looking like a real hater outside in these. And do you have hair? Right now, as you look in the mirror, do you have edges to grab to be able to do up a hair extension, even if it's one at the front? Have you got edges to be doing that up? Do you know what I mean? So, all right, guys, let's move on. I'm just going to block them. You're getting blocked now, by the way. So you're going to have to find somewhere else to, you're going to have to find somewhere else to do up what you're doing up. I can't believe her. What a cheeky idiot. How do I block? You lot, does anyone know how I block people on YouTube? I don't even know how to block this. I All right, let me just, I don't even know how to block her. I think I've just hid her off the thing, but I don't know how to block her. All right, maybe I've done up something on there. But anyway, yeah, they were just trying it. But babe, you can't try me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I look way too good. Do you get? It's not easy to. It's not easy to make me like feel some type of way because I'm just so delusional. Do you know what I mean? I just know I'm that she her, and do you know what? It's not even just me. It's the men. It's the men when I go out every day, how they fall head over for me. Do you know what? Do you know, I get doors open for me and stuff, babes. Like, do you know, you guys, I'm not just delusional. I got the reception outside. The world is a catwalk. Do you know what I mean? Are you having a laugh? Trying to come for my signature look, you know? How much Gyaldem? You've never seen braids like this in your life. Are you having a laugh? You've never seen braids like this flowing like the wind, light and movable like real hair. You've never seen it. Hater. All right. So let's get into it, guys, because I got sidetracked. But okay, susceptibility. So low self-esteem, guys. And as I said, young people are going to be, it's going to be very, very high risk for young people because, you know, their self-esteem is low, whether they know it or not. You know, the men, like, you know, the little men that are like 18 starting uni and they think they're like big men. They've hardly got any facial hair. Do you know what I mean? And they're in uni like, oh, bless them. Do you get what I'm saying? And then they got to like feel like they got to compete and have all this money and be this big bad guy. And you know what I mean? Guys, it's a lot of pressure, you know. And what I find is, you know, the guys that I feel like are really at risk, you know, them type of guys who are like, they're not in gangs, but, you know, like Anya Kapawa. No, Anya Kapawa is a clout chaser, sorry. You know, like those guys who are like, you know, like them guys who are like not in gangs, yeah, like they're not really like about that life, but they might just be like, you know, from the ends. So they're just like man them, like those type of guys. Do you get what I'm saying? But they're just those are the guys they grew up with, but they're not really active, but they're more like affiliated with. Those are the ones that they really like. They bring them in the cult and they will be bullying them, like literally. Do you get what I'm saying? And these guys, they're not really built like that, but they've like been around certain things. You know what I mean? They really do take the PISS, and they're very hard to recruit because they're very easy to recruit. Because some of the time, although they've got like affiliations and they're not like active, they're still like kind of affiliated to the life in some way. Do you know what I mean? So they might want to like they don't feel like really like they fit in, or it's like they feel like they could be more themselves, or it's like a thing where they're trying to get a way out because just through affiliation, you know what I mean, that can still put their life in danger. So those kind of young people, and majority of those young people are actually in the church cult spaces. That's why you see a lot of testimonies of these guys saying, you know, they were these gangbangers, they used to like run their area. It's all lies. It's all lies. They exaggerate, you know, under the adrenaline, because these testimonies that they do up in these church cult spaces, yeah, they're like promo. It's like a selling point for them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So these young people, when they get up, they're so infatuated with the pastors. They just want to do their pastor proud. Do you know what I mean? So say like it went from, they used to buy like a big bulk of green, yeah, in uni because they used to just bun a lot, yeah. But then occasionally, because their friends knew they used to pick up like that, they might ask them, oh, can I get a little whatever? And then you might give them like a 10 or whatever. That will turn into, you know, you were the you were the DRUG Lord of, you know, Nottingham University. Do you know what I mean? And you were some big time shotter out there. Everyone knew you. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? So it's gone from, let me use another, does everyone understand that example? Or it could be like, let's say like you were a girl and you used to like be on university campus and you used to like maybe like go out with a lot of guys and whatever, but you maybe used to go to the club here and there, but not really like that. Then when you come to do your testimony, you'll be like, oh, I used to have a different man in my bed every night. I used to be out in the clubs. I was always the one. Do you know what I mean? They just exaggerate everything. Like they just, and it's not like they're all, it's not all lies, but I would just say that the testimonies are very exaggerated. Like I've seen it with my own eyes. I've even felt like I've had to like over sensationalize things a bit, but I've never like over sensationalize it, but I have a bit, I'm not going to lie. Because when you're in the adrenaline, you know, and your pastor's looking there and you want to make your pastor proud and you want to, you know, it's like that. That's all it's about. Thanks for the follow, babe. That's all it's about. So, you know, they can exaggerate a lot. And you have to remember, yeah, they're looking for brownie points. They want to be favored by the pastor. Do you get what I'm saying? They want to be brought close to the pastor. They want to be given opportunities because your whole life revolves around this church cult setting. You have no life outside of that. So everything that you're working for, it no longer becomes about other achievements. Like if you've got a hobby or you've got a dream that you're chasing, and more time, that's what gives you a little bit of life. A little bit of a will to live. Like people have like their passions, like their passion projects, like the things that they love to do. Do you get what their hobbies, whatever? Everything becomes revolved around the cult boy. Do you know what the saddest thing that happens to guys is like when they come into the cult and say like they've got a little thing that they're doing, like football, or they might be part of this, I don't know, they might go and do rugby, what do guys do, minan, or whatever it is that they're doing up, like their little thing they do for themselves on like a Sunday or a Saturday. Then as soon as they start going to the cult, yeah, that's the first thing that they gotta let go of, is their little thing that they do. And men, they're just like so different, like they like just having these little things. It really doesn't look for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like stripping the person away from the little pleasures and joys that they get. It's so sad. And what you realize when you come out, if you're deconstructing well, yeah, is you realize that all of these things that you started to let go, they were just parts of yourself, pieces of yourself that you were just letting go as the time went on, that you didn't realize until when it gets to like a year or 2 years or 3 years, however long it takes you to realize, yeah. You realize that all of those pieces, like your hobbies, spending time with your family, doing things for yourself, taking care of yourself in a certain way, your loves, your passions, when all of that stuff starts to go, this is where you start to lose your identity and your personality. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because, and actually that might be interesting. I think I'm going to have a little look into that, actually, personality theory and ideologies about that, how personalities are shaped and framed, etc. And I know that there's going to be a bit of social learning in there with theories with that. I definitely know that. And basically how the personality becomes reshaped, and how survivors take on the pseudo personality of the cult leader. It's through the thought reform program, because it's kind of taking out your brain and putting in the brain of the cult leader. Do you get? But actually, it's not his brain. It's his how can I explain it? Like his, I don't know, is it his marketing brain? I don't know what to call it, but it's a piece of the cult leader anyway. It's a part of his person. But do you know what it is? It's an unrealistic, unattainable version of the cult leader that he wants you to get to, because he doesn't feel good enough. He never felt good enough to his father. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's the seek of validation, because he never felt good enough for his father. So because he then replaces himself as father over us, we need to please him to be the expectation of what his father wanted him to be, that he didn't reach. He now wants us to reach that. That's called projection. I'm going to clap for myself. I'm just going to go ahead and clap for myself with that psychoanalysis. You not like up the live, please, like, because I'm going to have to. Do you know what I mean? And you lot can come in and say whatever you want to say, but there's absolutely, it's undeniable that I'm speaking facts on facts. Oh, and you know what I love about this part the most? Thanks, Blue. What I love about this the most, because you know why I do this, guys? I speak about myself a lot. I've got this, because I'm trying to, it's for myself, because minakir, IDGAF, minakir. But I was beaten down so much in there. It was like, you can't give anything for yourself, all the glory to God. And I'm not saying that that's bad. Oh, I'm not saying that, child. I'm not saying that. But when it gets to ABUSE is when they're breaking you down. You can't even say, do you know what? I rehearsed for that job. I did the research. I went out and bought the clothes. My mental health was really bad that week, but I pushed myself to go to the interview, to apply for the interview, to get the information, my work experience. I'm not saying, yeah, God gives you the breath to breathe, but some people don't even believe in God like that as well. You have to remember that, but that's a different story for another day. But when do you give yourself a little bit of appreciation? When do you say, do you know what? I did that. Well done. Like, good on you, babe. Like, well done. Like, that's all a part of like raising our self-esteem, loving ourselves, acknowledging the achievement. Why? Listen, if we've got a parent and they never tell their children, well done for the little things. My daughter came and made me a picture today. So I'm like, yes, sweetie. You've got to, even the little small things and little achievement. That's how you build up your child's self-esteem. If you ain't going to build yourself up, who's going to do that? And because they're constantly tearing down, I think it's really, really important to do that. Clap for yourself when you've done something and it can be small little wins for you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, appreciate yourself, celebrate yourself, man. because in those environments, you don't. So me, babe, I've got 18 years. 18 years. I've got 18 years. Hey, money, I've got 18 years to make up for not loving myself, for not appreciating myself, for not celebrating myself, for not congratulating myself, for not bigging myself up. So someone can come in and say that they're hungry because my hair reminds them of needles. Me not care. Me not care. The rich ninjas love to eat up these noodles. That's all I've got to say. Do you know what I mean, babe? Because when you can bag a certain caliber of man, then let's talk about it, babe. But when you're sitting there and you've got no other choice but to marry a dusty, do you get what I'm saying? And you've got nothing going for you, and then you want to talk on other people's appearance. These times you don't even know how to look after yourself, like self-care. Absolutely crazy. But anyway, guys, I digress. You know me, it's so hard to let things go. This is why I'm like, why do people play with me? Do you know what I mean? Like the cult, like, why did they do me so dirty? Because anyone that knows me knows, just leave Leah alone. Like, there's no point in beefing Leah because she's in her own world. So it's like the way I process things, it's like you could do something to me, but I process it in a completely different way. So it's like I don't know how to explain it. I'm just undefeated. Because in my own psyche, oh, thanks for the gift, man. Because in my own psyche, there's no competition. There's no challenge. Do you know what I mean? Like I love myself. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like I love my bare face. I love my body. Do you know what I mean? After 2 kids. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I just adore me. And there's nothing anybody can say or do that's going to take me out of character, take me out of my authentic self or how I see myself. Like no one's going to do that, innit? Because I went to Hades. Like that's lower than hell. Like I was really in Hades level of network of that. And I literally crawled out from Hades like with my bare hands, and I've started to rebuild myself up. So no one's going to make me feel lesser than. Do you know what I'm saying? No one's going to make me feel lesser than. No one's going to make me feel like I'm not good enough or, you know, make me feel insecure. Babe, I don't get insecure. Hey, Hans, I don't get insecure, babe. That's one thing. Like, I just don't get it. There's so, like, even, you know, that new Drake song that's out with that girl. What's it? Is it Pims or whatever? You know that tune, I don't want you with your friends. I don't even know how it goes. I don't want you going out with your friends and all of that. I can't relate to them tunes there because I want you to go out with your brethrens. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I want you to go out there. And if you want to go and tap it and get another coochie, feel free, babe. I'm confident in my source. I send you out. Go forth. You have permission. You have permission to go and try another coochie. Because, baby, what's you're doing, you're just going to be thinking about me the whole time. Because that's how confident I am in my source. Do you get what I'm trying? I'm not insecure. Do you get what I'm saying? I know what I got on. I know what I got going on, child. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to put a leash on no one. I don't even want marriage, babe. I'm not a beggar out here. I'm absolutely fine with what I got going on. Oh, thanks, babe. Yeah, I'm totally delusional. This level of delusional is just, you probably haven't seen it before. I was raised by Deborah Lauder, so I'm very delusional. So I'm here. Hey, babe, Minakir. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And at the end of the day, yeah, no one's going to break me down because I've already been broken down and I've built myself back up. And the only person that can really break you guys, the only person that can really get you to like that level, thank you, babe, is yourself. That's what you realize. You're your own worst enemy. I can talk about the church cult this all day long, this, that, and that. But even after I established, yes, it's a cult. I established, yes, I was ABUSED, and there was a lot that went on. I also recognized that I was coming in with my own trauma, which made me more susceptible to the cult. So I still had to unpack that. Did that make it my fault? Does that make me accountable? Hell no. But it's me being able to unpack that, make sense of it and process it in addition to the church cult stuff, because you can't deconstruct in isolation. You have to go into that shadow trauma of self, like especially with childhood, because for a lot of us, we would have been recruited, you know, like just from that transition of like, probably it could still be that childhood phase. Do you know what I mean? Because up to 16, you're still considered as a child. But I'm talking about that kind of, you know, when you're turning 18, 17 into 18, 19, from 17, 16 to 19 years old, I think is one of the main key target ages that these church cults really do go for. They really do go for that. And that's why we've seen such a drive and we've seen such an increase in uni church cult campuses and campus cults. That's what we've seen. We've seen a rise in that. And actually, if we were to do a systematic review on the church growth and the introduction of these university church cult campuses, we would definitely see that the rise and the exponential growth that these church cults have experienced, it is in tandem with the setting up and the planting of church cults. How do I also know this? Because Caris, that's why Dag should have cut him off. Dag's slip up was allowing David Antry in, because David Antry copies everything he does. So we now have got a trail of this church growth, do you know what I mean, happening as a result of these university church cult campuses, because Caris has done the same thing, and we've seen. But the thing is with Caris is, because of the dynamic of our being a first lady, it will never grow beyond what is like beyond the UK, because they love money too much and they're too superficial. Like David isn't masculine enough to like lead like that. Like with Dag, like he's married someone that he can lead, that will not speak back to him, that will not answer. That is me. So there's no input from her whatsoever. So it's just a male perspective. It's very misogynistic. It's very patriarchal. The same in Caris, but I think because, like, you know, because David was okay, I gotta say, because I'm on my main, Our actually brought David from Ghana, and I think she helped him to get stay over here and this, that, and the third. So the dynamic is a little bit different. Like Dag didn't really need Ida. I mean, I meant to say Adelaide, Lady Reverend Adelaide, and I said this singer. Woo! Oh my gosh, do you know what you like that? I think there's going to be a lot of major exposure this year. We need to brace ourselves. Because these men of God, they got a lot of cobwebs in these closets, chat. There's a lot of exposure. I'm sitting on a lot. But you know me, guys, all I'm going to tell you is I'm sitting on some hot tea. When I tell you this tea is piping hard. But the situation at the moment, guys, this is the current update, is that, you know me, I have to have seen the receipt. So if anything, I got it right here, baby. Do you know what I mean? And if that needs to be shown to anyone, or for whatever reason, I have the receipts. So until I've got those receipts in toll, and you know me, I don't put pressure on anyone. I'm not doing up all of that. You know what I mean? I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry for views. I'm hungry for people. It's when survivors want to speak their truth. It's when survivors want to produce receipts. And it's also divine timing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I believe that, the timing's everything. And when it's the right time, do you get what I'm saying? Like, people will be exposed. That's on period point blank. So anyway, all right, let's go back to the susceptibility and the risk factors. All right. So we've gone through, and guys, the reason why I'm focusing so much on low self-esteem is because a lot of the time this is overlooked, and we talk about so many other things, and we don't really like hone in on this low self-esteem thing. And this is why I'm saying, like, even when you come out of the cult, you need to work on these things that made you susceptible. Is it low self-esteem? Is it that you can't be with yourself? Because you know what, one of the main reasons why we ended up in these church cults is running away from self. It's because we couldn't be with self. We couldn't be on our own. And if we're really honest, because you don't love yourself and you don't like yourself, you don't want to spend time with you. You want to spend time with people that you love. You want to spend time with people, that's including yourself. So if you don't see yourself in that way, what that does is that makes you vulnerable and more susceptible, not only to church cults, but to bad relationships, to friends, to users, people who are going to drain your energy, people who will take advantage of you, people who will use you. Do you get what I'm saying? And this might be a pattern, because for a lot of people, thank you, Jossa. For a lot of people who are in these settings, one thing that I think we've all kind of got is like, and not everybody, because some people, remember, it's a phenomenon. Some people, some TikTokers are on Instagram today, Jaa. Some of us, we might come from like 2.0 families. Do you get what I'm saying? Be brought up in really like so-called, perfect, whatever, picture perfect families. So again, it's a phenomenon. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm gonna look at and generalize it with a group. Yeah. So I'm gonna say majority of people who will attend these church cult spaces will have some sort of attachment issues connected to this, whether this is unsecure attachment with a family member, or is some sort of trauma in the early days of childhood that made that attachment unsecure, that made you feel unsafe in your home where you were supposed to feel safe. Does that make sense, guys? Because different things are going to resonate with different people. Okay. That makes you more susceptible. And then what happens is you start to frame your psychosocial views, which is how you view the world. You start to form your psychosocial views from trauma, through a lens of trauma, especially when it's happened. Because guys, that's why I was trying not to divorce before I was waiting for my child to turn 5. because according to psychology, this is the most important time for a child in terms of their securement, to have the two parents that according to. So this is how I was thinking. Obviously now I think very differently. I think you just have to leave. The child could be 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Be not here. You know, like if he's not treating you right, like, you get me? You need to exit. You need to leave. But obviously back then I was going more with the psychology, because obviously I was just so traumatized. You know, I couldn't find any answers. I didn't feel like I could see any answers in the Bible, because when it comes to like more like psychological abuse, it's such a gray area in the canon Bible. I just couldn't find it. And again, that's why I had to go within. I had to spend a lot of time just being with self, just listening to my inner voice, like my inner child, like, you know, like what am I saying to me? Do you get what I'm saying? And then after that, I was able to reconnect, like just getting back. That's why I want people to get back to self, because then if they do decide that they want to have that relationship with God, then they will be able to know their self, and they'll be able to get that, like feel that communication. Do you get what I'm saying, with God again? Because in these church cults, they cut you off from all type of communication with God. It's really, really sad. So there's that rebuilding, do you get what I'm saying, in your psyche, and also changing your perception of how you perceive and see God. If you do decide to keep God in your psyche, instead of seeing it all as external, like you need to do something external to be forgiven. Do you know what I mean? Or you need to sow a seed to get this blessing, or you need to sacrifice this amount of money to get this, because God needs that as an offering. You know, it's just all human fecal matter. It's all to take your money. That's all it's about. And they act like they don't want money, but they make everything about money. It's constantly about money. It's constant. To the point when I used to go to church and I used to think to myself, like, why am I here? Like, I'm not getting anything out of this message. Do they realize that people come there and they feel like they can't do it anymore? Like, this is like, there's people that have like dragged themselves out of bed, just come in to hear a word. Like, we don't need, imagine someone's feeling like this is their last day, they can't do it anymore. They come to the church cult and the message is why tithing Christians are rich and non-tithing Christians are poor. Or they come to the church and the title is one of you is a devil. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's why we shouldn't be bringing outside doctrines and outside rhetoric and ideology of man into the church cult. But do you know why people like that would end up saying that, we're feeling like, oh, they can't do it anymore, this is their last day? Because then they love bomb you. You see, like when you're in the church cult in like setting, they will be doing a lot of love bombing. So even if you probably didn't even bloody well understand the message, do you know what I mean? You're so mentally unstable that but 95% of the message, your head is in the clouds. You're not even there. You haven't even concentrated on the pastor. Because come on, let's face it, being able to sit there for 4 to 6 hours from beginning to end, it's a lot. It's a lot. And people who are running away from self and who have like severe mental health, or they've had like traumatic past, or they don't feel like they've got a family, or it could be as simple as that the house is inhabitable. So the house is so bad. You know, I saw this Instagram post where this woman was all online. She's a mess. She's an absolute mess. She was online screaming from the rooftops that she's glad that somebody called CPS on her. Guys, when I tell you the condition of the house was so bad, she had babies. There was like, you know, like hand prints of the baby's human fecal matter. It was all over the walls, all over the windows. Like she just had the kids living in absolute squalor. You know, just she was just hoarding in the house. Like the kids couldn't move around freely. And she's there saying, oh, now she's going to get free stamps and this, that, and the third. And so the reason I'm saying that is because there are children who have been removed from their homes because of NEGLECT, because the house wasn't habitable. So if you've got a young person like that whose house is not like, it's not habitable, they don't feel safe in their home, they can't physically be in the home, because we need to think out of the box with this, guys. And so now when they're coming to the church cult, it's open from Tuesday to Sunday. Now it's a form of escapism for people. They can be there every day. They don't have to be in their house as much. And they're like 14, 15. They're either going to be in a man's bed or they're going to be in the church cult every day. And then because they haven't deconstructed and they haven't healed from their trauma, and they don't see that they're just that vulnerable little girl running away from self. And then they compare the experience of this kind of, you know, house hopping amongst men as a form of escapism from their very dysfunctional childhood home to now they're in church. So it's like, praise the Lord. Do you know what I mean? They're not seeing that they're doing the same thing. It's just a different output. But because of the trauma, it's the same traumatic experience that is driving them to run from self and feeling like, it's a form of escapism for them, because they're either going to be in the club, they're going to be in some random guy's yard, or they're going to be in the church cult. That's the sad truth. I just felt that just then. And I just want to say, like, my heart goes out to young girls, especially. Just young, vulnerable girls. Because I think back to when I was 15 and I was 16, and it was the worst time in my life. My nan had just unalived. My boy, my actual ninja, had unalived on a ped accident. Thank you, South London lady. On a ped bike. And that's why when I talk about, like, the street and the road life, guys, a lot of people think about, like, people getting unalived, like bored up and getting down and things like that. But it's not even like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, people unalive because they're living, like, the fast life and they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Not even a bad youth, like a good youth, but he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like my brethren, like, he wasn't a bad man, like Floppy. He wasn't a bad man, like R.I.P. Floppy, he wasn't. But he was a money man and he made fast money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and so he had this, like, fast life where, like, carpe diem, he just, because with that lifestyle comes fast money. And it's like that fast life. And, he was just buying a lot of things like cars, pets, and, just that lifestyle. And he was just, like, on his road, like, just with no strapped helmet. And so it was just bereavement after bereavement. There was so much going on. And I was so vulnerable, and I think about the young girls, the young women, that are going through, like, similar traumatic experiences, and how vulnerable they are for just getting swooped up, by these cults. It just takes, being at the right place at the wrong time, man. You could be so down and just so feeling so defeated by life, especially if they find you and you're crying. That's it. They're going to come in all, what blazing to recruit you as much as they can. All right. I don't know if this YouTube user is still on there, but I'm going to, guys, if you want to put any comments on, you can put your comments in the comment section and I'll answer them. Oh my gosh, I'm just fit. Whenever I talk about, really traumatic things that happened, like, around that time, like, it was just one of the most difficult times of my life. So this YouTube user says, I am a university student in South Africa and Dad has a branch in Bloemfontein, and they often violate privacy, which means they would often come to my dorm unexpected. Oh my gosh. Which is creepy. Ooh, I don't even know if they're here. I've just seen that. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're still here. Oh my God. Yeah. Do you know what? Let's talk a little, because I was talking about the university campuses, wasn't I? That's how they found you crying. Oh my God, you lot. A survivor on TikTok said that's how they found her crying. You see what I mean? In your vulnerable low states. That's what I'm saying. If they find you crying, it's a wrap. It's all over. That's it. Because they found you in your weakness. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to be weak. They want to build you up to break you down. So they found you when you were weak. And then when you build yourself up in the environment and you start to get, like, promoted, or you start to get whatever, they don't want you to get too ahead of yourself. Because it's like, now, you need to remember the time that you were crying when that boy left you. And your mental health was going away. You didn't even have your mind. And now you think that you know better than I. Now you're telling me that God is telling you to leave the church when I was the one who helped you. But yeah, so this stuff with the invasion of privacy, there's that, guys, it's not even just universities. It's like these, street evangelists that are out and they've got these big megaphones and they're shouting and screaming and telling everybody that they've got to go to HEL. I don't even think they should be allowed to do that. I think it should be against the law. And they're going to be like, how are we going to save Jesus? There should be a protocol that you have to go to. There should be a protocol that you have to go through, just like every other person that wants to do something in a public space or a public area. You should have to go through certain steps, and there should be things that you have to think about, and the delivery of the message, because no one can take away your freedom of speech, and I believe that's You know, that includes religion, that includes culture, that includes whatever you want to talk about. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. Because like you lot can talk about religion, like I can talk about your false prophets. It's all a free country. Do you know what I mean? We all have free speech there. So I'm gonna say what I want, like what I want, like you're gonna say what you want. But I still have to be mindful. I can say what I want, but I still have to be mindful of others, of protected characteristics of vulnerable people. Why can't you do that? You know, like they always come out with all of these loud sounds, and you know, there's kids with different needs, man. You've got to think about, like, we're in a different time now. We've just got a certain understanding. Things have got to change. If you're going to do stuff like that, I think that it needs to be done in an orderly way. Do you know what I mean? Not just like you're on the street and you're just shouting and hurling. And the thing is, with the university campuses, I just want to say that the reason why they just pop up to your uni accommodation, pop up to your yard unannounced, they don't care. They're not giving you no warning. They're just doing whatever they want. They'll just turn up whatever time. You know, I've had survivors saying that these people have turned up to their house at like 11 and haven't left their house until past 1 a.m. in the morning because they just weren't taking no for an answer when they wanted to do up leaving. Do you know what I'm saying? And the main reason why they do this is because of two main things in the cult. One of them is, I think it's in the Lay People and Ministry book or Mega Church. They talk about PVCI, and it's like basically the duties that Dad thinks that you need to be doing up to be a pastor, to be a worker of like the Lord or whatever. And that's prayer, visitation, interaction, and counseling. And guys, do you know what? I still remember this to this day, because we used to do exams. They still do exams up in there. I have done the exams and there's like 4 exams that you need to pass, like 4 basic exams to be like, I don't even know, just like a church member. It's not even like it might be, I don't even, it's shepherd's training. That's what it is. It's shepherd's training. So you're on a training. You have to do, you see how I'm even disassociating, because I just can't believe that I was doing, you know, exams on Dag Heward Mills. If that isn't idol worship, tell me what is. Why do we need to do an exam on your book? Why not the Bible? Like, why does nothing revolve around the Bible? Everything is about Dag Heward Mills, man. When I came out and I was deconstructing, I was like, oh my God, this was just the Dag Heward Mills show. I call it Dagphodian world. It's Dagphodian world. Like they're living under someone else's timeline. That's his own reality that he's created. He's created his own kingdom there. Guys, I'm telling you, these kingdoms, they're not kingdoms of God. They're not kingdoms of God. They're kingdoms of David Antry, little kingdoms. I mean, Onyeka's, do you know what I'm going to say? With Onyeka and, oh God. You know, like NGRM and SPAC level, they are boroughs. They're not kingdoms, they're boroughs. And that's me being generous by calling them boroughs. Because Onyeka's church cult isn't even a borough. I don't even know what we would call it. Nancy, what would we call it? You know, guys, this is ghetto too. This is ghetto talk. Just buying my supermarket shop bought Cherrier gel. Do you know what though? Cherrier doesn't fail me, you know. Oh, do you think I'm creative? Thanks, babe. I appreciate you, UK Home Haven. Ciao. The only reason I weren't like this before, babe. They stripped me of all creativity known to man. I was really, really boring and trying to be like the cult leader. Everyone's walking around like mini cult leaders in there. And that's why, you know, like when you come into contact with these church cult goers, yeah, they'll be talking to you, you know, like they're an authority. It's so funny. It's the funniest thing. Like you'll get this like 16-year-old boy, yeah. You'll get this like 16-year-old boy who will come like dressed in a suit. Do you get what I'm saying? And he'll be telling you like what to do with your life and dictating to you, giving you scriptures. Do you know what I mean? On how you can be more like Dag or whatever. It's absolutely pathetic. So they speak at you, or they speak down on you. They don't speak with you. They don't. It's very much like they're just talking to you. It's like because none of the questions are rhetorical. It doesn't give you a chance to really give an honest, truthful answer, you know, because there's no room for that, and they're not going to listen. They just want to they just want to preach to you. They just want to preach to you and tell you the doctrine, whatever it is that they've been doing up, because that's how they've been trained, and then they're going to come in and speak at you. That's what they're going to be doing up. That's on period point blank. That's on period point blank. You can't have a conversation with a heavily and severely indoctrinated Christian. There's no way. It's like, this is why I had to remove myself from a friend. Now we're rekindling and rebuilding the friendship. But before it was, I felt like this. I felt like I was banging my head against the wall. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, it was just that I just wasn't able to get through to her. And I was just like, don't you see that the life you're living? Like, this is insane. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're actually, you need, like, guys, it was so bad, yeah, that I had to leave the friendship, because I felt like her mental health was so bad that she wasn't coming to the realization of it. And she was using spirituality, hyper religiosity a lot to cover it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was very hyper religious. So instead of her looking at herself and the trauma that she needed to heal from and the things that she needed to change about herself and her being accountable for her own actions and the choices that she had made, she was just over spiritualizing it and saying it was the Lord and spending like 10 hours in prayer instead of 10 hours going and doing up some self-development and looking within. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was all like, and what you'll find is people who are who have like, you know, like mental health, undiagnosed mental health issues, yeah. What you will see with those kind of people is that they will be doing up a lot of prayer. It's like a coping mechanism for them, like these mind altered states, these trance-like states, where they can put on this message and they can just preach in mind-numbing, you know, repetitive, ritualistic sequencing for long periods of time. Because then what that allows them to do is not sit with self, not listen to all of those negative emotions and thoughts that are coming in. And so that they're never getting any time to unpack the trauma. So they're just using the speaking in tongues. And this is the biggest way that they do it to basically manage and deal with the trauma. So it's a bandage. They're not actually sitting down and working through the trauma and having conversations with people, because these pastors don't know how to heal anyone. All they know how to do is put you into mind-altered, numbing states and take your money. Okay, hey, Lilas. She says there is so much trauma and unlearning that you all have to do because of the abuse you guys suffered as part of these cults. I'm so sorry. It's been such a tough process. Thank you, Queen. If you're still there, I appreciate you. And it's so much unlearning. There's so much that we have to unlearn to learn and process. And it's so tough. It's so tough. But we're doing it, you know, as a collective. And guys, if I want to say anything, there's been a lot of negativity, you know, with what we've experienced. We've been through a lot. Like, that's undeniable. We've been through a lot. But now we have created this beautiful community whereby we are a collective, we are empowering ourselves. Survivors are coming forward to share their stories, to speak their truth to me. I'm able to build content around that. Like, guys, I feel such support. Like, even if I post something, I know I'm going to get people like commenting, you know, supporting my stuff, like liking it. Do you know what I mean? I'm so grateful. Like, I don't think it's because I've done my big one or I've come and I've done something. And it's the support of the collective. If I didn't have the support of the collective, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's we have done this as a collective. We have done it. Every time you come in here, you log on, even if you haven't shared your story, it doesn't matter. Just coming on, sharing the live, liking that. Even if you're on the FYP, bitch, it helps the algorithm. Do you know what I'm saying? Everybody, we all contribute. And that's the thing that's what makes these church cult settings so powerful. It's the numbers. That's why there's always a constant drive for recruitment, and then the money, because even if everybody gave a tenner, because if everybody goes there's 50 people and the pastor can coerce them to give a tenner, that's 5 bills. That's a lot of money, you know, guys. Where is someone going to make 5 bills in 2 hours, 3 hours? They're going to do some meetings afterwards, but then they still get to glorify themselves as a god. Do you know what I mean? And sit down and dictate and lie to people and, you know, give people this holy water and holy oil to put in front of their house, like Anya Kapawa. Do you get what I'm saying? Of NGRM church goal. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's all about them. It's all to feed the ego of the narcissist, man. All right, let's go to some of the YouTube comments. Guys, if you've got any comments for me, please do put in the chat. They wanted me to write some exams, which means adding school on top of another school. Ooh, yes. Are you still here, babe? That is a very good point. That is a very, very good point. And you know what? I think I'm going to add that, you know, to you've actually given me a golden nugget and a golden key. So I want to let you know, this guy, I'm going to mention you later on in the year when something happens. I'm going to mention you and reference you, yeah, on one of these YouTube videos. So remember this day, mark it down. That's what they used to say in the church called mark it down. Mark it down, mark the day down today. Remember what I have said. Remember the words that have been spoken. Remember the prophecy that has come to you today. Write it down. Write it down. But it's true. Do you know what, babe? And maybe that's why so many students are failing. Maybe that's why so many students are having to retake their year. Maybe that's why some certain students are doing university for I know people that were doing their nursing degree for like 6 years, but that was because the pastor was blowing her back out. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, woo, because it's hard in there. Do you know what I mean? All the married couples are sleeping with each other. Do you know what I mean? It's like wife swap. It's like wife swap, but with intimacy included. They're all doing each other in there. It's absolutely crazy. It's like it's a fest. It's like a cesspit of just version. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so much that's going on behind the scenes that is it no wonder that you would see a display like the Strange Woman New Year's Eve concert. And if you haven't seen that video, please go onto my shorts. There's a video called titled The Strange Woman. You should go, and I've even got a playlist called The Strange Woman, I think. So if you go in that playlist, you'll know what I'm talking about. But just because I want to just give you a little synopsis of Wagwan. Basically, they were doing up a Strange Woman performance, and it's based off the cult leader's book Strange Woman, and it's also based off his tune. Where he made a Christian remake of the Michael Jackson hit Thriller, and he changed the lyrics to Sheila, strange woman. But let me try and sing like Ida. Sheila, strange woman. You know, like, and it's like so unbearable, like the frequency of the music, because you know music holds a frequency. Like even your voice is an instrument, it holds a frequency. There's a vibration to the music. So yeah, there's just with Ida, that's just not that, is it? And so basically they were doing a performance and the woman was getting you know what at the time. And the guy proceeded to take off certain layers, and it was a performance of what a strange woman does up when they steal a man's ministry. And just like a harlot, like a Jezebel, that's the vibe that they were trying to create. But it was just an absolute train wreck, to be honest. And now everyone's covering it. Everyone's speaking about it all over the world. I think there's been 3 big YouTubers that have done a piece. But guys, I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to catch up with the speed in which things are going at. Do you know what I mean? And this is why I'm just trying to rest, because I know once it gets to March, it's just going to be like one thing after another for me. I'm going to be booked and busy. I'm going to be booked and busy. I could feel it in the air. So I'm just trying to get myself, rest and get myself prepared. Because remember, I said to you, look, I see this is a marathon. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm running a marathon. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I'm going to do things at my pace, what feels comfortable for me, as you know. And guys, I forgot to give you an update on my health. I don't have kidney disease. I actually have chronic kidney disease. So now I have to take 2 new medications just to try and help my kidneys. Can you imagine? That's what they did to me, because it's connected with I've only got one adrenal. These people, my organs were failing because I was going so hard in the cult. My organs were failing. Can you imagine? Like that's the amount of pressure. 1 second, guys. That's the amount of pressure and stress that this environment had me under, to the point where my organs are now failing me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm so unwell because of it. So that is a really key thing. So the students, because remember, like, even though they're in uni, their dream is like to become this pastor and be this church builder and this soul winner. And that's like, and young people are so easy to influence. They're so impressionable. So it's so easy for them. It's like a piece of cake. It's a no-brainer. Do you know what I mean? You put someone like me in there who sold out for Jesus. Let's make the braids black. Let's make me 21. Do you know what I mean? Like, sold out for Jesus, like just a nice girl, like just there, I can sing worship as well. We're all just there. I'm going to attract people. That's a no-brainer. And they know, they're strategic. They know who they're putting in certain places and why they're putting those people in certain places. It's all about influence in there as well. And I think I've got to do a piece on everything. But Stephen Hassan speaks about the influence continuum and how you can be influenced on an individual, I think it's individual, organizational and leadership level. how healthy and positive and negative influence will, if it will like assert control over you, or if it's healthy, it allows creativity, or for like authenticity. But on the other end of the spectrum, it will be authoritarian dictatorship. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't be free to challenge. You can't be free to express your opinion. And that's why they recruit people, and they want people with influence. So what you'll see is that, especially of late, there's been a trend in like these social media influencers getting recruited and things like that, because they like people with influence. Like that's when David Antry started really feeling like he'd made it. Like, you know, when Michael Dapper started going to his church cult, you know, like they really feel like they've made it. Like once a celebrity starts going, do you know what I mean? And Michael Dapper, if you just do come across this video, I want you to know that this man, David Antry, does endorse a rapist. It's Stag with Mills. Women have come forward that have been raped and essayed by pastors in the church cult settings. And there has been a few women that have come forward that have experienced essay and charis as well. So if that's what you endorse, do you know what I mean? Then minano. But yeah, so they get happy. Do you know what I mean? Like when they get like little celebs of influence or whatever, it makes them feel like, you know, they're this you know, big time pastor that's been able to, you know, reach to like this. And they're so artificial and superficial. I bet you any money they would be treating Michael Dapper differently in that church cult. Do you know what I mean? Like there's probably people who have been waiting years, you know, like to be a part of their little acting ministry, and they wouldn't give people certain parts. But because Michael Dapper's this well-known guy in the UK for doing skits, and funnily enough, Michael Dapper filled the space of Kayode Ewume. And Kayode Ewume is a pastor in First Love, and people have come forward to say that they saw Kayode building bricks out of sand allegedly. And he's in Ghana. He's married and he's in Ghana, and he's a pastor out there. He's left his career, everything he's done. You don't see Kayode Ewume. You know Rolf Dave, the guy. So anyway, it's just funny that First Love have Kayode Ewume and Michael Dapper have Charis have Michael Dapper. But I don't think Michael Dapper's as indoctrinated as Kayode, but he does that kind of thing, like skits and funny adverts and stuff like that. So he's known. He's somebody that is known. Like if people see him, they will be like, oh, that's Michael Dapper. You get me? So I bet you that guy sits, and I've never been to Charis to see Michael Dapper there, but I can bet my bottom dollar that man has got a good seat in the church cult. Like people who have been coming there for like 5 years, 4 years, who've been serving the Lord, like busting their ears. They don't even get the treatment that Michael Dapper gets from David Antry. I guarantee you, if Michael Dapper decides that he wants to attend Charis on a Sunday, he's going to get an express ticket straight to go and see David Antry. Everyone's like, Michael Dapper. Do you understand what I'm saying? Big fuss be made. Because why? Because when I exposed David Antry's collection of watches, apparently Michael Dapper got him a Rolex or something. So is it because Michael Dapper's bought you a Rolex, David Antry? Is that why he gets to sit on the special seat? Is that why you're just letting him do up the acting? Oh, it doesn't become about Christianity then, does it? Because you know why things like this piss me off as well? Because when I was on the X Factor in 2007, I wasn't allowed to sing in the church cult and be doing up X Factor. I was told I had to make a choice. That's why I left my singing and my pop star dream. That's why I left it, because I was told that you can't serve man and mammon. I was told that you can't be a lover of the world and a lover of God. That's what I was told. So I left it. I left it behind. You get what I'm saying? Now I've come to find years later that you've got people like this, like Michael Dapper shouldn't be allowed to do anything in the church cult if we're going by the canon Bible, the strict canon Bible that David Antry claims he's preaching and teaching in there. So why does Michael Dapper get special treatment, David, to people who have been there busting their ass for you, doing up ushers, doing up choir, singing every Sunday faithfully, coming to choir rehearsals every single Saturday? But Michael Dapper wakes up and rolls out of his bed one Sunday morning and decides to come, and he gets to sit on the second row and he gets to do up whatever. It's pathetic. And then he gets to see you. Do you know that I've had survivors that have said that they were waiting to see David Antry on a Sunday until well past 11 o'clock in the night? And they were told, David can't see you today because he's had so many meetings, this, that, and the third. But it was like, they were like, and I think he said, oh, it's good to see you, or something like that to the girl. And she was like supposed to, she was like feeling, oh my God, he's acknowledged me, because that's the kind of stuff they do. Is very manipulative. But if Michael Dapper was to come on a Sunday, even though that girl scheduled an appointment, she's been told she's going to have that appointment with David Antry on the Sunday, she should wait around and she should stay. She won't get seen. She won't get to see David Antry. But Michael Dapper, because he's Michael Dapper, he comes in on the Sunday and he gets to see. It's a no-brainer. He gets an express ticket straight to go and see David Antry. What is that? Come on, Charis lot. I want you to tell me. Come and defend it. All liars and the truth ain't in them. Fake. All right, so I've got a couple of comments. It's popping off in YouTube. YouTubers, thank you so much for all your comments. TikTokers, can we like up the live? Hey, honey. Because YouTube, I'm on TikTok and Instagram all at the same time. And guys, you know what? It's so tiring when I've got to do this, but you know what? It's so worth it. I think I just need to just do this more. It's so worth it just being on live, you know, and, you know, getting this information out there across all the social media platforms. I think it's what's needed because there's such an epidemic. And I do need to be at 3 places at one time. Do you get what I'm saying? And what I love about the net, what I love about this virtual reality is that it's multi-dimensional. I feel like a Disney character that can be at different places at different times and all at the same time. Why? Because time doesn't exist. Time is relative. Study some quantum physics, just the basics, and you'll see. All right, so I'm going to go to the comments. So there's a survivor in here that says, do you have any tips for someone who recently left first love? Yeah, are you still here, babe? I'm so sorry, I wasn't even looking. Yes, I do. IDGAF. IDGAF. Hey, Jazz. IDGAF, Minakir. That's the first thing. You can't give a because if you're caring about how people see you, people's opinions, what they think about you, this, that, and the third, they're going to still be controlling you. Remember, our main priority post-cult exit is for us to be free. It's freedoms from the shackles. It's freedoms from the mental imprisonment. It's freedoms from the psychological trauma that we experience. Seldom of us will experience, you know, physical ABUSE. It will, majority of it is going to be psychological. It's going to be deep rooted in the psyche, the subconscious. Okay, can we all agree? So what I'm going to say to you is, if you're still feeling like, oh, you want to get out of that vibe where it's like you're hiding, you don't want to see them. Do you know what I mean? Like I used to be hiding when I was having a little drink outside of a bar. Hey, girl, why am I hiding? Because I'm having a little glass. Why am I hiding? You know, because drinking was a sin, child. So now I don't want to be seen out so that people would then see me and be like, oh, I saw Leah at the bar. She's backslidden. She's ruined her life. She used to be singing praise and worship. That's like a psychological thing. It's like paranoia. And that's how they've been keeping us in the shackles, because silence is compliance. They've been lying to us. Oh, baby, there's priests that that enjoy a bit of red. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean, man? And I wanted to say something just then, but I said, you know what? Because I don't have the receipts, I'm not going to say it. But all I'm saying is I hope that your pastors under UD are not drinking. That's all I'm going to say, Jack. Because, you know, I did without drink for a very, very long time. And I'm glad that when I started to let that go, I had my little taste. You get me? Because that's just that. They're bang out of order for that. But anyway, yeah, it's the guilt. So I would say to let go of the guilt. If you're not here anymore and you come across this video, like you need to let go of the guilt, because they use like conviction a lot and condemnation, but it's all guilt. It's all human fecal matter. It's all guilt. So I would say do some deconstruction around self-limiting beliefs. Do some deconstruction around like paranoia. Also keep looking at the cult psychoed, so the characteristics of the cult, and look at how they did it to you. Like make sense of like how you got recruited, like the tactics and the characteristics that were used. Really unpack it, because it will lead you back to so many other things. Because once it's like the Pandora's box. Once you open it, there's going to be a lot of other things that you will find. But I would say deconstruction, but you have to live by that motto, like IDGAF. I don't care. You could be the most devout Christian. Babe, who else is trying to help you outside of these streets? Who else is trying to help you outside of these streets? You just got to take it as it comes, baby. Do you know what I mean? Because it's raw and unfiltered. And if you're reading your Bible, you need to show me grace. You know what I'm saying? So you can change the F to I don't give a care or any cares or whatever, but you get the motto. You cannot care about other people's opinions. You cannot care about how people view you. You can't care, because that's all they care about in there. That's how they kept you in a hold, because it was like you care. You're trying to please the pastor. You're trying to do what the pastor says. Everything is about a man. Everything is external. So you got to get out of that. And that's why I'm saying love yourself. Know thyself, so that nobody can come in and tell you. Do you think anyone can come and tell me about myself, guys? I make fun of myself. Like I put up a video today on WhatsApp, and I watched the video and I put it back on, and I was like, I run like a penguin. I run with my feet out. I'll make a joke about myself, babe. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'll make a joke about myself. Minakir. It just doesn't faze me. And then if you say something about me, I'm just gonna be like, you're jealous, because that's how Deborah Lauder raised me. That's what I do with my kids. My little girl said, oh, did anyone say your hair's nice? No. Oh, because they're jealous. They're just jealous, my love. They wish they had a mummy who could slay their hair like that. You ain't, girl. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I do up with my kids, chair. You think anyone, especially my youngest, there ain't nobody that's going to be able to come and pop that one's self-esteem, chair. I'm building my kids up, man, to have crazy, like this, like they got their high self-esteem, confidence, queens, love themselves, not give a, you know, that's how I'm raising my girls, because they are not going to be vulnerable. They are not going to be vulnerable. And even though, you know, me and their dad, we have issues, you know, we're both on the same tail end of the stick with these girls. That's what we're doing up. Yeah. So I would say you've got to focus on loving yourself, raising your self-esteem. And what do you need to do to raise your self-esteem? That comes in different dimensions. Yeah. There's a physical one, like the outward, like leveling up, but I don't even think that it should be in your rear view, but more so in internal, guys. I'm going to say within. Thank you, Ella. I'm going to say within, because, you know, there's girls that sort out their outside and they're rotten within. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's only a matter of time until they start falling apart and breaking down. And you can always you don't want to be a mean girl. Do you get what I'm saying? So I would say go within, and then thank you guys for your gifts and your likes and everything. Because once you go in, what will happen when you go within and you start to feed and water yourself internally? What will happen is that will start to reflect. It will start to emulate that. You will start to radiate from the inside out. And that's why I love this scripture. And I think we can all appreciate it, no matter what religion, creed, culture, race, whatever, is that it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what comes out. And there are just certain verses and certain, you know, I don't care if, you know, this can't be proven or that can't be proven, because it resonates. Do you know what I mean? Like, women should remain silent. It does not resonate. It does not. It never will. Never will. No matter what context, how you try to, you know, change it or make it, oh, they weren't telling every woman to be, oh, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever. All I know is it doesn't resonate. and I don't need to do what you say in the car. Yeah, I'm gonna take my Psalms. Tick, yes, please. I'm gonna take some parts of some of Paul's works, because I'm not sure, you know, about that. But I will take Romans 8:28 gladly. Do you know what I mean? There's just certain scriptures that, you know, it's never gonna leave me. It's never gonna leave me, and that's my truth. And it's because it resonates. It resonates from within. You know, I've been through certain tests and trials. I've been through these experiences. I've survived the trauma. To get what I'm trying to say, and as a result of going through the furnace and coming out refined in many different areas, I can say I can read something, and I think I can trust myself enough to know if that's a truth for me. Yeah, and that's what we need to be doing up. Instead of going and taking our fast backside to be up underneath the pastor that doesn't even know, Pastor, how can I heal? And then there was silence. Oh, the Bible tells us, now sow a seed, £100. Who has £100? Do you know what I mean? Like, look at all these pastors doing up £100. You church goers should come and listen to me and give me. I got to start doing £100 offerings in the car. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm definitely teaching more than your pastors. That's on period, point blank. I'm saving a lot of marriages outside in these streets. Are you having a laugh? A lot of single married men are having to blow their wives' backs out now forcibly because they're, God forbid, Leah Loda is right. I love you, all you single married men from First Love Oval and from Mustard Seed Chapel. I love you. I absolutely love you. Because of me, now you're having to blow out your wife's back that you really don't like a lot. Thank you, Ella. I did that. And I just want to say, in case any mustard seeders or first lovers come across my content from anywhere in the world, you're welcome. You're welcome. Because now your bedtime has been changed. Y'all aren't there until 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m. unless you're like you've been there since the stone of ages. Do you get what I'm saying? And even then, they're not going to be trusting anyone because they're paranoid in there. How does it feel? You're welcome. How does it feel to feel paranoid? How does it feel to have to look over your back? How does it feel to feel like you're being constantly under surveillance and monitoring, Richard? How does it feel not knowing who to trust? How does it feel to have spies? Woo! How does it feel now that the tables are flipped and reversed and turned, Richard? How does it feel, my ninja? How does it feel, brother? You get me? Like, how does it feel to be on the other side of town? How does it feel to walk in the shoes of the survivors? How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? Yeah. So me, really, I'm on an eye for an eye and a toot for a toot with these pastors and whatever. That's what I'm on. I'm not even gonna lie, because the truth has to come out. All right. So I hope, girl, I've kind of just veered off into something else because, as I said, I am on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram all at the same time. So I'm trying to manage everything. But oh, but someone put there, go to therapy, especially if you've experienced a lot of forms of abuse. Yes, I would agree. But do you know what? I think that therapy can only help to a certain limit. I do think that we do have to go within, because sometimes you're only doing up therapy once a week or once every 2 weeks. You need to be able to be self-sufficient, like on self. That's what I would say. But again, I'm not deterring anyone from therapy. I'm just saying that you do need to be able to stand on your own too as well. Someone else from YouTube says, oh, you said the date marked and I did fail 2 hard modules and I could not have had enough time to study as the church ended at 5 p.m. and then I would have to rehearse. Yeah. So this is a big thing that this survivor from the university church campuses keep saying, that it was that he actually failed modules. And this is what a lot, Scarface in the car, a lot of people have failed modules. And guys, do you know what? When I was in university, basically, guys, I was having a mental breakdown because I had backslidden, yeah. And I was like with this guy. Remember I told you when I was living with that guy and this, that, and the third year. But anyway, long story short, I was so effed up in the head, yeah, because of the mental torture of the cult. Like I thought I was backslide. I was in my last module of uni. I nearly failed, guys. The day before my work had to be handed in, something just said to me, Leah, just go in and just do it. Just give it your best. And I had to do my dissertation right up the day before. I had assignments. Guys, that's a lot of people's lives. That's a lot of people's lives. They don't focus on university, they're last minute. And so people are coming out with like, say like they could have achieved firsts. They're coming out with like third class. Do they still have third class? And there's nothing wrong if you've had a third class, please. I'm not trying to belittle it or whatever, but I'm just saying, if you did your best and you came out with a third class, then I celebrate you because you did your best. And and I don't think that achievement is even measured. You know, this education system is flawed. Don't get me started. So I'm not trying to put anyone down if someone did get a first or they got a second class or whatever. You did your best, you got your mark, be proud, celebrate. But I'm just saying there are people who could get a first class with their eyes closed, guys. They don't even need to try much. All they needed to do was be in that class and do that module and get it done. But because of how much of their time they need to give to the cult, they can't concentrate, they can't give their best. So instead they're coming out with second classes, or you know, like a upper 2 or a 2-1, and it's okay. But you know, those kind of people who they know they're intelligent, they know what they can achieve, they know they can get that first, but they weren't able to get it. Thanks, babe. And that 2-1 will be a constant reminder. But again, it's cognitive dissonance. I was even lucky to pass. I didn't even think I was going to pass. So 2-1, Charlie. 2-1 is a blessing. Or I sacrifice for the Lord. This is how they think because they're severely indoctrinated. It's never the church's issue. That's another thing that I found. It's never the church's issue. It's always your problem. It's always everyone else's problem and their mama's mama, cousin's baby daddy's cousin's sister's auntie, baby daddy, baby mama's friend's cousin, you know, her neighbor. It's always someone. It's everyone else but the church, child. Everyone else but the church. And that's what I got a problem with. Same as UCKG. Ooh, do you know what? Guys, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think we're going into UCKG season. You know, I'm just letting everyone know. I think we're going into UCKG season. I've had a lot of survivors come forward, and I like a lot of you lot. Like when I start getting like attachments with like survivors, and it's you know, I love everyone and I speak to everyone, but when I get like certain attachments for survivors, and this is what I work off vibes, I go by energy, because this takes a lot of energy. So if I'm going to be banging out and I'm going to be exposing a cult and I'm going to be doing the most, there's got to be a driving force for me, otherwise I can't do it, because I can't pour from an empty cup. It's from myself. I can't do it. But if it's another survivor and I'm bringing the other survivor justice and I'm vibing with them and I see them as like my dog, and you know, it's like how I would ride out for anyone that I love and care about, anyone. And so a lot more UCKGers are coming forward. I'm not gonna lie, and I like you lot. I really do like my UCKG survivors. I'm not gonna lie. You lot are very loyal. You lot are a very loyal bunch. And that's why I see a lot of similarities in the UCKGers and the cult I was in, because there's not many real mega church cults where you have like them big billionaire pastors. Like Macedo owns the bank. He's got the Temple of Solomon in Brazil. Like there's a lot of things that they do up like that, like the control, the way that they've built all these church cults all around the world. Like it's the same as that. I know it's a different culture. Thanks, Queen. But it's similar. is similar. Our cult leaders, out of all of the cult leaders that I've studied and I've been doing up psychoanalysis of, Macedo and Dag Mills are a lot similar. And that's what I'm saying. It's got nothing to do with if the pastor comes from Africa, if they're this, if they're that. It's characteristics. It's the characteristics that they do up in there and the culture. And it's very similar. Like you lot have got your Mecca, which is like your Temple of Solomon. We've got our Anakaze Bible School. We've got our compound. Yeah, they are in it, Star. They are. So I do want to say right now, if any UCKG has come across any of my content, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I need you to start messaging me up now. I'm going to do a UCKG survivors link up. I'm going to do one at the end of the month. I'm just going to put out a little thing for next week. And I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to be at a Weatherspoons and I'm just going to invite survivors, and whoever shows. And we're going to chop it up. Yeah. Even if it's one or even if it's none. But I am going to offer like a Teams link for people to join from UCKG that are from different parts of the world that have been watching, or are from different parts of the country that can't make it. I will open it up for that, yeah. But it is going to be, and obviously, if you're another survivor and you want to come and you're from a different denomination, I'm not going to say no, because we all want social time. But I'm going to label it as the UCKG Survivor Link Up, because I want to start forming a collective with you guys. I want to start creating some really quality content, and I haven't really done any content on UCKG because although I don't really, let me not go there. I just want my content to be different to what's already out there. I really do want it to be the voices of the survivors, like them telling their voices from a very authentic place. And I just want to say with the UCKG survivors, because the surviving UCKG movement has been around for a hot minute, and I didn't hear any survivors before. And I just think that because a lot of the work has been done, because I did recognize that survivors needed to go through a deconstruction and a deprogramming process before they spoke out. So now that UCKG survivors have been engaging with the content, and they have been deconstructing and deprogramming, and they are now ready to speak out. So they may be on other platforms speaking out, but that's a process that had to be done. Do you get what I'm saying? Because my main focus is not like survivors coming on and doing content necessarily. It's about building up survivors. It's about these lives we do, forming and shaping a community so that survivors. Oh, you're such a queen, you know I love you. I'm trying not to say your name too much because I'm on, but you know I love you, man. Oh, you're such a queen. I love my UCKG survivors, man, and I'm so glad that we're at this point. I feel like I'm at I feel like we've got a really strong collective of UCKG survivors within, because we're just called the collective, so within the movement. And I think this is the perfect time now. I think I'm really happy that I haven't spoken out about UCKG before, because now I feel like I'm in a really strong position to do some real quality content. And I want to bring my UCKG survivors justice. I want to bring them to justice. You get what I'm saying? And I want to do the content just right. So I will be. So UCKG survivors, please, if you do come across this content, please get at your girl. Message me. The lady on YouTube, if you're still here, you can message me on Insta. I'm going to say to people, if you do have Instagram, can you message me on Instagram? Because TikTok just gets wild, man. Like, I get so many messages. But if you could only message me on TikTok, then please do that. So yes, it's the same as UCKG. I agree. I'm pretty sure they blame the devil for making you fail those modules. It's so true. That's what they'll say. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. That's why you failed. You failed because the devil is a liar. You did not fail because you are in church 24/7 and you are spending more time on doing Bishop Dag's exams on his books, or you are practicing rehearsing for Titus and Crete. You were more interested in Titus and Crete and doing up the exams than you were doing up your modules. That's why you failed. That's on period point. Like, it worked because I know friggin' devil is a liar. The devil, as I always say, baby, the devil is somewhere in the Maldives on a private island surrounded by water and catching a tan, eating fresh fruit on a floating waterbed, catching a tan. Whilst your hair blaming the devil, he's like somewhere like, y'all Christians need to stop saying my name. Y'all need to get my mouth. Y'all need to get my name out your mouth, because half the time it's not even me. It's your own lust and your own desires and your own sin that's within you. That's what you battling with. You battling with yourself, darling. You lot are always calling the devil, man. You lot give more reverence and more. You're always calling him. That's why he's there, taken over, infiltrated your environment. Because you talk more about the devil than you do about God and Jesus, man. What the hell is going on? Are we coming to church to listen about Jesus, or are we coming to church to listen about the devil? Which one is it? Which one is it? Hi, Prince. Then there is this camp thing. Imagine being persuaded to attend a camp on the holidays rather than visiting your family just for the weekend. Oh, do you know what? I really feel it for you, babe. If you want to share your story, you can message me on Insta, you know. That's really sad. I'm really, really sorry that you went through that, King. Do you know what I mean? Because I've had other survivors that have been discouraged from seeing their family really traumatic surroundings to it as well, where it's just pure evil that you'd say, you know, guys, there's been people, and I'm going to start winding down soon. There's been people who have not gone to say their last goodbyes to their family members because they had to be at a meeting or they had to preach on Sunday. Do you know there's certain pastors that have missed the birth of their kids to preach, just preach on a Sunday, or because Dag's coming and then they call the baby Dag. Oh, the baby was born on the same day that Dag came to do a function. So we are calling the baby Dag. Oh, please. If you've called your child Dag or you've called it some sort of name after the cult and they've left, oh, please spare them from a life of just being weird and being on the periphery like Dag. I'd change it, man. Because a lot of people have done that. I was even going to call my daughter after my choir leader, and she was my ABUSER. That's why that what's it called? That syndrome. What's that syndrome called? Where you love your abuser? That thing is real, man. That thing is real. It's so real. Like when you cut, like it's something I think I'm still struggling with now, to be honest. Stockholm syndrome. Yes, thank you, A. Yes, thank you, Ella. Stockholm syndrome. That thing is so real. You know, where you will love and you see it like with you know, like where there's DV abusers and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like that vibe. Oh God, guys, there's so much to unpack. You lot, I don't think that we're ever gonna. This is gonna be like lifelong unpacking, chair. But I'm so sorry. Them camps, you know what? Maybe we could talk about camps tomorrow. Should we do camps like a morning camps vibe? What day is it tomorrow? Is it Tuesday? Yeah. All right, we could do up a morning. I'll leave the setup like this. So that because guys, you don't understand. I've got my laptop here. I've got one of my phones here and I've got another phone on there. So I've got 2 tripods and I've got my laptop. And then tomorrow, actually, what did I say we're going to do it on? Camps. And then I've got my spreadsheets out there so we can really break it down. Do you know what I mean? And really do up a lot of psychoanalysis with it tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. Hey, get ready to think. So guys, tonight, let's think about our experiences of the camps. Not everybody, let me explain what a camp is actually, just quickly break it down because, you know, we have other survivors from different denominations and it might not be this. So for example, we have a culture of camps where the cult leader will take us away for 3 days. And then, oh my gosh, oh, Miss L, oh God. UCKG is something else though. UCKG, that's why I need the survivors to really sit that, because it's just something else. We have a culture of camps where they take us away for 3 days and we're sleep deprived. We don't eat. Sometimes they might include like a little breakfast or, you know, like something little, or you'll have to self-cater. So, and it's not an environment that's conducive to you being able to eat or make proper food there. So people are like eating noodles. Do you know what I mean? It's just terrible. It's just terrible. And it's long hours of preaching. So it's long hours of preaching. It's like 24-hour preaching for the 3 days and you have to pay for it. It's like, it's a lot of money in the middle of nowhere. You don't have reception on your phone. Back in the day, they used to tell us to switch off our phones. You're not allowed to leave the room. Once you enter, you can't leave the room. You can't leave the room. Like people will have like their flasks of coffee, like just to try and stay up. Like it was bad back in the day. People would be sprayed with water, you know what, when they were falling asleep in the camp. And guys, these are people you leave straight from work doing a 9 to 5. You come straight to these camps. It's far. Sometimes they're in Wales, they're in Southampton, they're in Portsmouth. You drive for hours and then they will go straight into the preaching. So say like you left your house at 5 a.m. in the morning to get to the camp for like 12. Then the camp will start like 1. So you don't, everyone's bags are there. They don't even let you check in, like go to your room, like do anything. And they're in really weird like locations. Like sometimes they could be in like university like campuses when the uni's closed, or just really weird. I can't even explain what some of these venues were because I couldn't tell you. Maybe like retreat sites. Like one was like a horror movie. It was awful in Wales. Oh God, it was terrible. And they were talking about the conditions there, and they knew it was bad. But again, it's all to save money. Do you know what I'm saying? They're trying to find the cheapest package, the cheapest deal, so that they can save. Because as long as Bishop Richard comes there, you know what I mean with his, let me put with my main account, I'm on 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 my main account. I'm on my main account. Sorry, guys, I just really struggle to say anything nice about Richard. Oh God, I struggle to say anything about Richard. Oh hey, is that my SP from the ends? is that SP that I'm thinking about? Is that someone else? Yeah, so we'll do. So that's the camps. That's the type of vibe. I know with UCKG, it might be like art. We have the culture of the camps. We don't do deliverance. So we don't do that thing where we're casting out demons out of people and all that. We don't do that. They don't believe in that. I'm sure. I think something happened years ago. This is why I think they don't do it. But that's just my little theory. But UCKG, I think you lot have more of a culture of this deliverance and these demons and casting out of demons, because I think they even take you through some sort of training for deliverance or something. I'm sure a UCKG survivor was telling me this. So it might be that. Do you get what I'm saying? So as I'm talking about the camps, what you guys need to be thinking is what tool or what practice do they use in my cult, where they're using mind-altered practices. They're doing up sleep deprivation. It's including a lot of financial exploitation, or it could be that event. You know, when you do the campaign, because we also have campaigns though. So you see what I mean? We also have campaigns, but it's slightly different, but it still does require that sacrifice and that suffering and that, do you know what I mean? So UCKGers, CARIS members, who else have I got? NGRMers, RPFers. It may not be camps. It might be retreats that they take you on for like a day. It could be like a day thing, your camp. I know with CARIS, I think the camps are a day. I don't know. I don't think you guys sleep over, do you? So there'll be different dynamics. But what we're looking at is we're looking at the characteristics. We're looking at the ritualistic tendencies that is to get the same outcome, because the culture is going to be different. So although I'm going to be talking about camps, because guys, I don't know your cults. So if it's resonating and I'm talking and it's resonating, then that's fine. But if there's a different area or a culture or something that they emphasize on a lot, where they do up a lot of information control, like another thing that UCKG survivors told me that they do up in there is this thing where whenever there's a scandal or something was going down, they would do these prayers and then the fasting. That's why when my cult started doing that up, although they do prayer and fasting, there was a difference. They changed it to where I think they're praying like 5 to 7, if my memory serves me correctly, in the morning, but they were physically going to the building. So that's like another element of the sleep deprivation. People are having to wake up, instead of them waking up 6 or 7 or 8, they're waking up 3 hours, 2 hours before work, but they're indoctrinating them to believe, to see that as sacrifice, because they're going to be blessed. But really, they just want them to be tired, to make it easier for them to indoctrinate. And also it gives a false sense of holiness and purity when they bring all of these like tasks and religious, you know, like how it is in Catholicism. It's like very much like works plus faith equals salvation. That's what they believe in. It's a legalistic, fundamentalist, Christian conservative cult. That's what it is. Yeah. And I think that with UCKG, I can definitely see those things, those similarities, especially with the misogyny, the way the women's ministry is separate, the men's ministry is separate. They all wear the suits. They're very strict. It's very disciplined. They're like an army, so similar. And then you've got the favoritism, the nepotism in there with the wife and the daughter. So UCKG, as I've been listening, and I could have just come out and done UCKG content a long time ago, but there's a time and a season for everything. As I said, I'm not just outside in these streets, you know, looking for revenge or looking to do up this. It really is a movement. And I believe that, you know, I don't want to make it over spiritual, but, you know, I do believe in God, and I do believe that God's hand is in this. And if you don't believe in God, that's absolutely fine. Whatever it is that you believe in yourself, whatever, because if you don't believe in God, then we've made it happen. We, us as a collective, and that's on period point blank. They say, let the unalived bury the unalive, to discourage people to go and attend a beloved's funeral. All right, so that's the same as mine. Oh my God, El Rose, can you message me? Can you message? Because that's the same as what they did up to me. That's why even to this day, I can't find my boyfriend's grave. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The one that was unalived in police custody. I don't even know where it is. If you ask me right now, like, where's the grave? I can't take you there. Do you know how much that crushes my soul? And now I have to build myself up to go and visit there. I've got to build myself up psychologically and mentally to go and be doing up to visit. and I've got to find it. Guys, it's absolutely heartbreaking. There was another survivor, and I think I'm going to end on this and start winding down. So if you've got any questions, can you start to put it in your comments, guys? What I'm going to say to you is there was another survivor who had lost a, you know what, that was, yeah, right? And had to, like what you're saying, had to put to rest. And the church cult, she had like certain things like a blanket, like this, that, and the third, yeah. I think it was a still, you know what? And they were basically saying it's because she was evil, and it was like it was outside. It was like she was fornicating, so it wasn't like a proper, you know, like a blessed relationship for God or whatever. You know what they do, just break people down. And they actually took some items that she had from the hospital to say like it's a soul tie and you shouldn't be holding on to the items. And basically there was a lot of threats and a lot of fear in her going like basically like negative. I'm even starting to disassociate. Look at this. Oh God. Sorry, guys. It's just so traumatic. It's like the trauma is just a lot. But anyway, they do put a lot of fear into people and, you know, say that those places are demonic and the alive. Yeah, like exactly what you said, the alive shouldn't be with the unalive. So I was right. Nail on the head. I hit the money with UCKG. I just knew it. It's the same. It's very, very similar. Yeah, UCKG does deliverance and night vigils, which start at 10 p.m. Oh my gosh, and end at 6. Yeah. All right. Yes, really similar. So, okay. So Miss L, because I don't want to say your whole name because I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram, and you know this is going to go out to the public. Can you please message me on Instagram and let me know that you are who you are? Are you in the UK? Because we've got a link up, or even I would love to meet up with you as well, because you seem like you've been there for a lot of years. And what I've been doing, guys, is I've been building relationships with key witnesses from UCKG, people who were there for years and years, like the equivalents of me. I do tend to attract people like that because I tell my story like from my heart, like how much of the years that they stole from me and like everything that they did. Do you know what I mean? And it resonates with people. It touches the hearts and lives of people, especially if you were in a church cult and you were giving your all. Like you gave everything, like sweat, blood, and tears. Like you gave it your all, like every part of your soul. Then there's no way you could deny me. There's no way, because you feel it, man. You feel it. Ah! Emma, end of the month, girl. Are you coming? You have to come, girl. End of the month. Because you know I always do like a little bit for the survivors, and then we just have a good time. You know what it's like, girl. We always have. Everyone has such beautiful souls. Like they're just, oh God, I'm feeling so blessed. And that's why I'm saying, guys, like there's been a lot of negativity, but like, you know, you lot can make friends, man. You see each other coming up on the chat, like make friends with each other, like message each other. You might just want to go out for a coffee or link up for a little drink. Some survivors invited me to her house, and we're going to have a little like link up, like me and some other survivors. There's going to be a few of us end of Feb. And then I'm going to be doing a survivors link up in the north in Birmingham in April. On April the 13th, I'm going to be doing a Birmingham, north of England survivor link up. Woo! We're going nationwide, y'all. I've got a lot of survivors in the north, but even if one comes, and oh no, Kiki's on holiday. I was going to say if anyone comes, it will be Kiki. But do you know what? I'm sure I've got Queen, you know who's up in them sides, the UCKG survivor that I don't want to mention her name, but you know who you are, Queen. We were talking earlier on WhatsApp. I know if I'm in the north, I know if it's just me and you chopping it up, it will be me and you. Oh, okay. So let's do. But Emma, it might be quite nice to come to the north one. You know, like like for a change up, like we could make it a girls' trip, like a girls' weekend. Like, guys, come on, man. Yes, we will. Oh, I thought you were Emma P. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you need to come to an event, babe. So, but I do them every month, usually at the end of the month. So, you know, there'll be one in March, but actually it probably won't because it's my daughter's birthday, but I might do it the week before. So we'll definitely chop it up. So thank you so much. Ooh, oh my gosh, you look, this UCKG survivors from South Africa. No, do you know what? It's given lighthouse. That's probably why the UCKG survivors have started coming out the woodworks. That makes sense. Because it's so similar. Because you lot have got the branches all over the world, and I'm going into like some of the more like global stuff that happens in it that's resonating. Okay, that makes blood clot sense. Because I was getting this feeling to talk about my cult every day, and then I'm like, I don't want it to be like I'm hogging and I'm just talking about my cult, but I actually am guys, I was going through it with my mental health. I didn't think I was going to make it, guys. You know, I'm going to do a YouTube feature, like talking about how I was fighting for my mental health and how I nearly just gave up. That was literally like 2 weeks ago. So guys, I've been fighting for my damn life. I'm not even going to lie to you. And that content I'm going to do, it's going to be around that side of awareness for survivors, because I think we're all getting those type of ideations and thoughts. And I think I do need to do some content just being really naked and just being really vulnerable and just talking about it. So we're going to talk about it. Oh, you're such a queen. Oh, you do as well, babe. You do as well. You got such a beautiful energy about you. I love all the survivors. So I wanted to say, if you wanted to do like things like that, where you wanted to like invite me round like for dinner, look at me. No one wanted to human fecal matter on me, Jah. Last year, like when I first came out of the cult, you know what I mean? And now I'm like, oh, I'm booked and busy. I'm going out with a survivor. But literally, because it could be a group of you. Hey, Queen Aliyah. It could be a group of you, because like this group, I'm not going to give too much away, but there's a couple of survivors who all have like left the same cult and whatever. So there might be a group of you. It might be that you're 3 sisters. You might be 2 cousins. You might be like a bestie, or you might have come out and there might be 2 of you or 3 of you, and you've come out and now you're talking and you're trying to deconstruct and deprogram with each other, but you're not ready for like meeting the rest of the collective. But you 2 are like G'd up. So you might just want to meet me first and chop it up and whatever. We can go out, we can meet at a coffee shop, you can invite me to yours. Do you know what I mean? We can have a dinner, we could do whatever. So I'm also willing to do that, like smaller things if people are not ready for the wider collective. Because I want to spend my summer with the collective. I want to spend it with you. Do you know what I mean? So let's start doing up, like, what are we doing for the summer? Like, what's our plans, guys? We've got to start planning it. What would you like to have? What would you like us to do for the summer? Like, what's the vibe? Yeah. So if you do want to meet up with me, or you want me to come to your house, we could do up a little dinner, or you want to meet up somewhere with a few friends. There might be a few of you or a small group of you from the cult, or some of your friends, and you might want to meet up with me in a small little group. Or you could be survivors that have, like, you know, started chatting or whatever through the collective and want to have a little smaller link up. Let me know, okay? Because what I don't want is people feeling like, oh, I'm not ready for the wider collective, and then they're just suffering in silence. We can do smaller link ups, which can lead to, you know, you eventually, you know, being a part of the wider collective movement. So, oh my gosh, Miss L, I am so shocked to see you say South Africa, you know. And that's the thing. This is what I'm going to leave on, guys. This is why it doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what cult, this, that, and the third. It's the characteristics and it's the tactics, to the point where my girl's speaking, and based off her experiences with UCKG and my experiences of speaking to UCKG survivors, I thought this girl was in the UK. And that's how you know that these are cults, Chair. Oh, I know, but girl, let me tell you something. South Africa is definitely somewhere where I'm going to come, girl. And sooner than you think, because I believe the Lord provides. Because I've got a survivor from South Africa, and his account is following Leah, back in Leah, following Jesus. So for that alone, girl, you go see my ass in South Africa, child. Do you know what I mean? I got survivors that I love in there. You mad? Like, I got, do you know? And where's Botswana? Is Botswana not near South Africa, baby? We got survivors down them side of town, child. South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Botswana. What are you telling me, man? I got bare survivors in the cut there. So, girl, you're gonna see me in South Africa. Don't ever get it twisted. There's not many places, because I don't like flying, innit? There's not many places on my bucket list, but South Africa is top. Like, it's like, I would say it's top 3, girl. Do you know what I mean? So, chat, I'm going to be there. Girl, if I weren't healing, if I had a man, I could have been there next week. You survivors are lucky, chat. All I have to do is go on one of them little dating sites and be like, oh, I want to go to South Africa, you know, and I could be there. But because I'm doing up the healing, I'm going to let the Lord provide. So you shall see me, girl. You gonna see me or whatever. Believe it when I tell you. I'll be sipping my cocktail in South Africa, chat. I'll be there doing up the safari and filming it. Hey, Shaz, I'll be there on the safari. Don't ever get it twisted, baby. I want to be. South Africa is definitely, and I like Amapiano. Don't try me, chat. I love me some Amapiano, chat. So you gonna see me, girl. You gonna see me or whatever. All right, guys. So I'm going to head off now. Oh, look, just when you're coming, I'm going. I'm going to head off now, guys. But you never know. Guys, I might do up a little TikTok live a bit later, depending on how I'm feeling. But I will do the live tomorrow. It's going to be a morning live. I'm going to stream from Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube all at the same damn time because that's what we do in whatever. That's what we do in whatever. Thank you, Ella, for your gifts. So we will be on here tomorrow. We're going to be doing up exposing UCKG and First Love back to back, and any other church cult that wants to step in the chat, that wants to put their cult on the spotlight. I'm going to be doing up all the comments tomorrow, answering all the questions. I'm going to have my flip chart out. I'm going to be looking at the similarities, cross-analyzing the cults, and I'm also going to be talking about the camps, but then we're going to do up some of the UCKG stuff. So we're going to be talking about the deliverances and the night vigils, because I think that is sounding a lot like the camp. So we're going to be talking about deliverances, night vigils, and the camps. And then I think I'm going to use some of this content. Yeah, maybe I should do the Instagram. I'm talking out loud now, guys. We'll figure it out, but I'm going to use some of this content. Definitely. I can use the clean sweep of YouTube. So the first half an hour will be a clean sweep. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this and whatever. This is the way it's meant to be. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, Miss L is saying, be careful on them meetups. Some are sick. They might try to do. Oh, girl, I've always got someone pulled up around the corner. Are you crazy? I'm loved outside in these streets, girl. Are you crazy? The man them love me everywhere, from East London to North London to West London to South. Them South ninjas can't get enough of me. They love a real RC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too ghetto for them down there. They love it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like Leah, like when they go out, like Leah so much. And then I'm like me, like in the bedroom, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like getting it cracking if it needs to. Like, I'm just their dreams come true. So I'm always safe outside in these streets, babe. Don't worry about me. Period. Point blank. Queen Alita in the car. So I'm always all right because the man them love me. I got, you know, I'm loved. I'm loved in these streets. Like, people don't want to see nothing happen to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just loved, yeah. All right, I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna head off. I love y'all, babe. I love y'all. You're my everything. And wedding ring. As it fast cars, then we switching lanes away from you. We go together. Tell them we go together. We go together. Tell them we go together. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we go together. Wow. So thank you so much. Oh, look, Miss L's busting up. Yeah, man. And even I'm not afraid of no one, babe. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I've been in a lot of situations. I've seen a lot of things, and I'm really desensitized. So, but you are right, Miss L, because my mum said the same thing to me. She said, so everyone is vetted. There is a vetting procedure. There's like a whole thing that I do because I know that is out of love, babe. All jokes aside. So I really do appreciate that's the heart of a genuine, pure soul, and maybe a mother. Maybe you're a mother, so it's like that mother energy coming in. But thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Don't forget to message me, girl. And then the other person that's on there in the chat as well, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, yeah? Because I need to chop it up with you. So at some point I'll call you guys. I don't know what time it's going to be in the morning, but I will tell you it's going to be between, I would say from maybe like 9 till in between 9 to 12. That's the kind of time that I'm going to come on tomorrow. But I think it might be before 12 because we're doing our morning vibes. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Love y'all. It's been absolutely amazing. TikTok, you might get me back later. So guys, if you're interested on Instagram or YouTube to care to see me, if I might come on later, then the account you need to know is Leah Law the 7. Look, Queen because I don't want to say the name, she's put it on here for the YouTubers, and it's just Leah Law the 7, so you can just find me there. All right, I love y'all. Queen Leah, you're so great. Love you guys. All right, I'm going to start with looking off YouTube. So bye. So I'm going to start looking off YouTube, and then I'm going to look off